Hi everyone, my name is Paula Peralta, celebrity hairstylist and artistic director for Paul Mitchell. From the beginning of my career, I've had the opportunity to travel the world with some of the icons in our industry. And every stage and every city that I go in, I notice that there are hairdressers that are working so hard, you might not even know about them. They are experts in their fields and masters at their craft. What we're doing with this series is we are bringing all of their tips, tricks, and techniques to you to make you an even better hairdresser. This is Specialist Spotlight. This episode, Regine is showing us how to do a silk press. This is one of the trickiest techniques that people often have so many questions about. And I'll tell you now, you're gonna walk away from this a specialist in your salon. So as we start off, we have our beautiful model, Marie, who is about that 3C, 4A texture. She definitely is that guest that only wears her hair naturally pressed. And so she is that guest that's coming in every 10, 14 days to get her blowout, to get that silk press, and she wears it for the entirety of that time, comes back, and we are shampooing and taking her through the entire service every time.
So in the wash house, we have to set the hair up for success with a great shampoo. So generally, I will do 2 to 3 shampoos depending on the need of the hair. I'll either do one clarifying shampoo if there's like light oils, but if there's a lot of product buildup, I'll do 2 clarifying shampoos, and I will follow it up with a moisturizing shampoo.
Absolutely. So when you're going through that shampoo process, the key component there is to make sure that the hair feels clean. So you really have to be the artist there and determine what is going to be best for that guest hair, but you have got to start with clean hair. Otherwise, Absolutely. Your silk press is not going to be where you want it to be.
Not silky. Okay, so if you pay attention to what I'm doing at this point, there is actually a way that I shampoo the hair to make sure that I do not create tangling within the hair. So if you see right now, I am scrubbing the scalp. So I place my hand in and underneath to the base of the head, and I am scrubbing. And when I want to remove the dirt from the hair shaft, I will go ahead and I will pull on the hair in order to remove the dirt, because the shampoo has gone up and opened the cuticle for us to be able to release the dirt from it.
So once we've got that hair clean, for me in the salon, my guests always get a treatment. What does that look like for you in the salon?
So for me in the salon, it just depends. My press guests, they come in every 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks. So every other appointment, we'll do a deep conditioning, and every other appointment, we might do another type of treatment, whether it needs protein or whatever the hair needs. So it just depends on the need.
And I love watching you rinse the hair after this treatment. You're using the Paul Mitchell detangling comb, and you're also using the water, and those two things together. What are the benefits of approaching your rinse out this way?
The benefits is cutting down time, detangling the hair when the guest is in the chair. So while the hair has slipped from the conditioner, a wide tooth comb is just gentle. You just gently go through and you comb the hair as much as you can, and then you do the rest behind the chair.
Yeah, I think that's the key tip there, is that it's not a full comb out. You're not fully detangling the hair, but you're using that water pressure as well as that detangling comb to start to push the hair into the direction that you ultimately want it to go.
The way I set myself up for success is to make sure that I add moisture into the hair with leave-in conditioners. So my go-to favorite is the Lavender Mint leave-in conditioner. Also the Clean Beauty leave-in conditioner. Yes, I use 2 leave-in conditioners for every guest, because I don't want the hair to reach out for moisture and frizz up on her. I will follow it up with a heat protectant, a liquid heat protectant from Clean Beauty. So a tip and trick for detangling the hair is just taking natural, organic, large parts, whatever you're comfortable with, and detangling the hair and clipping it away and moving into the next section. Whenever you do that, it helps you not to be overwhelmed with all the hair at one time. that you're working with little heads of hair, is what I like to call it.
The other thing too with detangling that I love that you're doing is really grabbing that section in one hand and starting at the end and working your way up with your detangling comb. So you detangle those ends first. And again, I do the same thing, grasp that hair so that it's not pulling on the guest, no discomfort for them. And then I just continue to work up that section of hair. And eventually I'm able to comb all the way from the base of the hair down through those ends.
So now that her head is completely detangled, I am going to take my blow dry section by section. Now, if you guys notice, I am using a 407 brush. I love this brush because it has a rubber base that gives a really nice grip to the hair. And I am using that in order to create the perfect tension. And most of the time you will find that my blow dryer is actually moving more than my brush is, because I really want to go and seal the cuticle nice so I can start seeing that shine pop out of the hair even as I'm going through the blow dry.
I love that. It is a classic case of letting your tools do the work. Every tool that you use has a purpose. So again, the curvature of the 407 provides maximum tension. The length of the bristles, as well as, like you said, that rubber base really helps when you're working with like high heat and when you're definitely needing to stretch the curl like you are here with Marie. But the other thing that I noticed with this is that you're not really struggling to stretch the hair. The hair is hydrated and it has tons of elasticity. So you're able to put it into that new smooth, silky shape fairly easily.
Absolutely. And it all starts with the foundations that we set, detangling that hair properly. By the time you're blow drying, it should be with complete and total ease. If you find a snag, stop, shut it off, detangle, and then go again.
So if you take your time on the front end, you'll be able to work through every single step of the process with total ease and confidence, which is such a huge component in working with curly, extra curly, coily hair.
You better have confidence. At this point, high heat, high flow. And how I'm going to get the hair to dry is actually just staying in the area where I'm working with and going slower with my brush, keeping that resistance and that firmness with my brush, and moving my blow dryer up and down the hair like so. So it actually helps for you to get through the service faster rather than just going with the same motion, your blow dryer and your brush.
Going in with the Neuro Protect, which is also one of my favorites. There are some other incredible Paul Mitchell products. We have Hot Off the Press as well, that is a thermal protectant for those guests that love styling irons. And then this is an interesting cocktail that you're using here. So talk about this one, Regine.
That's like the secret sauce, okay? So I am using the Super Skinny Serum as well as the Awapuli Wild Ginger Styling Treatment Oil. I live in Alabama and humidity and heat is real, but I have gained a reputation for my silk press that will last, because with the Super Skinny Complex, it goes to hug the hair and it resists the humidity, and the styling treatment oil is what really goes in to do the work to like really hydrate the hair, expose the hair with beautiful shine. So yeah, it's the secret sauce. And that Neuro Protect is everything, because it takes away the guilt in smoothing the hair out, because you know that is controlled the heat going into the hair shaft. So love it.
Absolutely. And I think the thing that I learned here when we were going through this process is it's not just about getting the hair smooth and silky today, it's about the longevity.
Some people want to ask us, like, how high is the heat? How high is the heat? And really it depends on the texture of the hair. So if I'm using, let's say I'm using 420, if I did my job well, if the guest wants to like touch up her hair, she only has to use, or he only has to use half of whatever I use. But that's silk press. If you've done your work well, it will last. If your guest wraps their hair, it will last. So
I love that. Also too, something that I noticed is you're having Marie bend her ear forward, which I know we've talked about on social media.
It's the tap heard around the world. Everybody understands.
Who knows? If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. If you don't, you're about to find out.
Yeah, or get your ear burned. So the thing about this though is I think it brings up a really, really good point that it's okay to ask your guests to work with you in the service.
You hit the nail on the head, Paula. But also, too, if you were paying attention to how I'm smoothing the hair out, I take one long, steady stroke from base to ends. If I'm using my small iron, it's because I want to make sure that even if the guest pulls their hair up, there's a consistent, straight texture from base to ends. So I will use my fingers to actually pull the hair up a little bit and smooth over with my small iron. You can really control how you smooth that hair out in those particular areas.
If you follow these steps and these processes, you will be good to go and your guests are going to be super happy.
Absolutely. You will gain a reputation. The hair will bounce, the hair will flow, and people will know who did it.
Regine, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. You are amazing, Paula.
Thanks. You're not so bad yourself.
Thank you.